Among all we foresaw Donald Trump might destroy during his presidency, Dagenham and Redbridge was never a contender. Maybe North Korea, but never this, grimaces the club's managing director, Steve Thompson. Yet here we are. On Saturday at Victoria Road, the National League side played what may prove to be their final home match. Dagenham won 1-0, through a Michael Cheek goal to retain outside hopes of a playoff place, and elements of this afternoon retained a merry feel. As is tradition, the visiting supporters in non-league football arrived in fancy dress for their final away game. Yet for the home fans, the game played out against an uncertain backdrop. Dagenham, whose 9-year stint in the Football League ended 2 years ago, stand on the brink of extinction. If it wasn't so tragic, it would be farcical, concedes Thompson. The story begins late last season, when Dagenham supporters brought along a Confederate flag emblazoned with the name Trump Daggers. After being captured by the TV cameras, the club received a complaint and clamped down. Thompson then wrote to 2 clubs Dagenham were set to visit to warn them about the flag. Yet supporters were unhappy that the board colluded with other clubs over their behavior, and a hoax email was filtered that suggested Thompson had emailed all other National League clubs. Among all this, there was another flag, North Korean daggers, a joke aimed at the board after what they felt to be one power trip too many. Due to the flags and the treatment of Thompson, the club's major investor, Glenn Hopkin, withdrew much of his funding midway through this season. Thompson says, "This is a multicultural area with a multicultural team." There were the Charlottesville riots and black NFL players refusing to kneel for the anthem. We banned it and we tried to get other clubs to ban it. I'm sure Donald has never heard of Dagenham and Redbridge. Hopkin explains, "I put in over £1 million but I couldn't carry on. Any trust between us and the supporters had gone. When a number of people are forging a document to remove the managing director, that is too much. I won't see the money again." With the Confederate flag, I worried how our black players would feel. After Hopkin insisted the flag should be banned, another appeared. This time a Soviet daggers flag and then a rainbow LGBT one that read politically correct flag apostrophe. Hopkin funded the shortfall in wages until Christmas and also covered this month's wages. But we have contracts up until June 2019, Thompson says. The highest wage is about £1,000 a week. We have sold some players to cover it until now, but we won't be able to pay wages in May and June. The situation is critical. The club require a £250,000 investment to service their liabilities until the end of June. Fan Mike Wainwright says, "There were some poor financial decisions when we were relegated from the Football League. But it also shows how stupid football fans can be." For Thompson, the pain is raw. He was involved in Dagenham before the merger with Redbridge Forest to form Dagenham and Redbridge in 1992. "It has broken me. I am seeing my doctor for stress," he says. "The supporters are relying on me to do something. I am running out of ideas. I could have walked away, but I put £50,000 of my own money in December. I am not a rich man. It is desperate. It would be devastating for the community." We have the Royal Naval Association meet here every week. Then there's the Diabetics Club, the Deaf Society, the Renal Patients Society, a bereavement group, so much more. The community spirit was visible. After the game, families and young children were invited onto the pitch as the club presented their end-of-season awards. Manager John Still roused the crowd. "This has been the most difficult season I have ever experienced," he says. "We are keeping fingers crossed, and that is because we are all daggers."